Hi, I'm Arjun Ravi Narayan.
Aditi Chaturvedi.
My name is Donald Lusi.
Sandy Nandagopal.
Torgun Altentesh.
Domantas.
I'm from Botswana.
Mumbai, India.
I'm from Lithuania.
I wasn't even planning to come to the United States to study, but then I talked to someone and they told me to apply. And I was just looking at applications, and Williams seemed to have the easiest application. And
Come on, apply US News #1. It's great.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'll do it.
the other thing was that I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with myself. And in India, you have to choose what you have to do after 12th grade, and that's something that I really didn't want to do then.
It was the one with a lot of money.
I didn't want to take the state examination in Turkey, so I didn't want to go to college in Turkey.
No, really, because I knew I had to study liberal arts.
My roommate applied here.
I think the biggest influence was the rankings.
And financially it was amazing. I mean, everything seemed amazing about the place, and so I decided to just come here.
Oh, I came alone.
Okay.
It was kind of a crazy trip because it was my first time in the States. So
Yeah.
I took a plane like 2 days before the whole orientation week started.
Yeah.
And immediately after I arrived in the airport, I had to get on a bus to Williamstown from
Yeah.
Boston.
I actually had no idea what the town looked like.
Okay.
This was the first time I came to Williamstown.
So I found myself, traveling for all these like little towns with all my life in the suitcases.
But the first 2 days, I was like, this is not going to work out. There's just so much stuff I did not know, and like, just people are talking about just random stuff, and I couldn't say anything. I didn't know what to talk about.
Many things like that, and I'm still I think experiencing cultural shock to some extent.
And they're like, relationships between people are kind of weird. Like even the first day, they were talking about hooking up and stuff. And I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, so it was definitely a culture shock, especially coming from Istanbul. It's a huge city, 12 million people, and Williamstown is basically the smallest place I've seen.
I never really understood how remote Williamstown was.
My roommate was a football player,
Okay.
and he was a really cool guy, but it was still a huge culture shock for me to live with a football player.
Yeah.
It's it takes a while to really get accustomed to a new culture.
There was just a period where I was just so full with so much stuff going on, and I didn't really have time to think about home. But for like a month and a half towards the end of fall, there was something going on.
Yeah, I guess, stuff like family weekend was the first time I was actually like, damn, I wish my parents were here. And then
Yeah.
everything was okay, and I'm really dreading the Christmas break because everyone goes home
Yeah.
and it's just me here.
Seeing families together still reminds you of your own, and reminds you that you're in a different place, and people miss home.
It's annoying sometimes because they talk of home with like so much longing, even though they go back like every 2 or 3 months.
It definitely makes me feel a little sentimental and kind of homesick when I
Yeah.
see all these people going back. But at the same time, it sort of strengthens me because I keep telling myself I have to be stronger than these guys to really make it here and make myself feel good.
I'm actually very impressed with myself that 'cause I was a very like mother's boy, so to speak, until I got here, and I think I've adapted remarkably well. Yeah, it's very impressive. I'm really impressed with myself. Sorry.
I think being an international student in Williams, it's something that in the beginning for me it was a very exciting thing.
I think I'm like one of the 2 international students of the entry, so
One would assume by coming to Williams, I'm going to make friends with all sorts of people from all walks of life. The truth is that, one, those people are not necessarily welcoming to you to join the circles. And secondly, people tend to group up with people who are like them.
I consciously made an effort from the very beginning to get to know my American friends here.
Right.
And not necessarily be stuck with the international kids
Right.
who share a lot of the same experiences as I do.
People who will not exotify just the fact that I'm from a different country, but rather, acknowledge the fact that being different is not is not all that I'm about.
Sometimes it's kind of frustrating that everywhere you go, you're like distinct, and you can hear it the way I talk, and it just separates you from the rest for at least the initial period.
I'm a complex person. I'm a human being, and there's no way I can represent a country.
It's really, really frustrating, and you just want to be part of the whole thing.
Many international students kind of like band with international students and don't like talk to like non-international students and don't make that mistake.
For me, surrounding myself with people who are like me, who are my friends, who understand what I'm going through as an international student here, has been the biggest support.
It took me a while.
Yeah.
It takes me longer than expected here.
Yeah. Understanding what it is that I lack that I can't find in this place.
It makes you learn a lot faster about this culture, about the people, and you integrate. You know, it's challenging.
And I mean, they do like make fun of me and all, but it's all in like really good humor. And
it's more challenging to approach and get into the American crowd. But
Right.
I think it really helps you adapt to this culture faster. I feel like I have close friends by now.
Yeah.
But I'm a senior, and I don't know if I would have said that a year ago.
As a freshman, it's still going to be weird place that I study at.
It definitely took me at least 2 years to understand what I want out of this country and out of the school.
Yeah.
Now it seems like a very smart thing to have done. So I'm not really questioning anything.
And everything basically settles down. People are nice. The opportunities are a lot. It's been a lot of fun. I love it.
I think it's an experience that you go through, and in retrospect, you'll probably look at and be glad you went through. But sometimes while you're going through it, you're just like, why didn't I not go to a place where everyone looks like me?
Leave your things behind, 'cause it's all going off without you. Excuse me, you're too big.